Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well on this stupendous Saturday. Now, I'm hoping it is actually Saturday, because as I said that, I thought to myself, is it Saturday or is it actually Friday? As I genuinely, I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, whatever day it is, I hope you're having a fantastic one, because you look fantastic, so you deserve to at least have a day that matches the way you look. What can I say? Do me a favour. Now, obviously today is going to be the court aftermath day, but make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and smash the like on this video to help other people see it. Do me a favour and do that. That's all I ask for. Don't ask for donations or any of that shite. Just to subscribe, like, because this video is going to be a bit more professional. You know, I should be wearing like a shirt and tie and everything, because this is going to be a bit more professional. But in layman's terms, video 2 today, not so much. I'm going to basically say exactly how I feel about what's going on and what to watch out for in the community now. So anyway, what happened in the court hearing yesterday? So we heard Brett Payne and we heard Cy Ray. What we basically heard was Cy Ray making everybody look nefarious as a motherfucker. Absolutely. I said I was going to be professional, didn't I? That weren't very professional, was it? Saying mother effer. There'll be people unhappy with that. Promising professionalism and swearing. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, we basically heard Cy Ray make everybody look a little bit nefarious in what they were doing. He would go on to state that how they put all that data together to say Bryan Kohberger was here and he went this way and he went that way, and, you know, almost, you know, remember people like Gray Hughes with his little special video. Well, it would appear that all that's bollocks, because they hadn't even looked at more than 20% of the data that they had. Oh, and by the way, and the reports that they would produce couldn't have existed without them having specific things that it would seem that they don't seem to have. Or if they have it, they ain't showing it. So straight away, someone comes in, and this is going to be a bit now about people watch it and, you know, watch out in the community for certain things to be said. But basically what Cy Ray was straight up. He said, look, I reserve the right to change my opinion later. You know, if the stuff comes forward that is needed to show that these results that you have are correct, then, you know, then they're correct. But the point being, the results that you have here, you couldn't have got to them results with what the work is that you've got done there. So there's a load of stuff that's missing. And also, in addition to that, some of the elements of it that are missing are the absolute most important parts of that, which are the records from around the crime scene itself at the time of the crime. You've got all this other stuff, but the absolute fundamental to the case itself and the accusation itself is yoink, gone. How is that a fucking thing? How is that a thing? That you can have this data and the most important part of that data just ain't there. Just ain't there. And like I say, it's like what I say, you know, it's about being right and being proper. Like, I can sit here as a content creator and say, look, from what I've seen and the evidence that's out there, I need to see more. I need to see more before I can turn around and say Bryan Kohberger has done this crime. Because there is, to me, a load of... And I'm nobody. I'm no one special. I'm not somebody who's a professional in their field like Cy Ray or, you know, or... Well, I was going to say Brett Payne, but I don't know what he's fucking professional at. At the moment, it would appear professional at fabricating evidence. Anyway, I digress. So I'm just someone who looks at stuff and interprets what's out there. And for me, there just ain't enough to convict this guy. And then you see shit like this, and it would appear that the stuff that you do see is missing critical elements to it. And I'll turn around and say, well, if they fill in all the blanks, if everything gets filled in, then I'm cool with that. I'm cool to go ahead and say, okay, you've proven your point. But we're a year and a half down the road. We're not just a few weeks down the road. All of this cast information and all these docs that support what was used in order to arrest this guy and charge him with this crime, it just doesn't seem to exist. Like this, there was obviously some confusion over the federal grand jury. Well, it turns out that the federal grand jury is very likely being used to further hide stuff from the defence. How can you be confident that your case is solid? That you've got everything that you need in order to convict this guy. You know he did it. You've got the evidence that he did it, but you don't want to show it to anyone. They're operating. The prosecution are operating in a manner that seems that they want to charge someone with a crime, hide all of the evidence about it, every single element, from the search warrants to everything, hiding everything, and hide them behind federal rules so they can turn around and say, well, look, we just can't give you it. We can't give you it. It's not our fault. And then not only do they want to do all the charging in this, they then want to execute someone and hide every single element of how they got there, from inception to execution, and hide it away from everyone. How can anyone sit there, and think that that's okay? If I was a US citizen right now, I would be petrified, regardless of how I feel about Bryan Kohberger or not. However I feel about it, I would be petrified. It would be stated, right, in this court, and you obviously heard, I'm trying to put this again in layman's terms and break down the important elements of it. But with respect of the cast analysis, which at the moment, the defence only still has the draft of it. So they are told that they're going to get it on a certain date. That never materialises. They then turn around and say, well, it's because you've now said that he went to Wawawi Park. So we need to check our documentation to make sure that we can cover our arses because we know ours is fabricated. Well, they didn't say that, but that's what they meant. Because the report is the report. The report shouldn't fucking matter what happens in the aftermath of that. If you did your report properly, you did it accurately, and you did it without any fabrication or manipulation, then the result is the result. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether Bryan Kohberger said he was doing fucking handstands and fucking somersaults in Wawawi Park with his balls hanging out. It don't fucking matter, does it? It just matters that you did your job properly and created the right and proper report to show where you believe this guy was. How does the impact? How does anything that happens that the defence want to say influence this here, unless you are trying to manipulate that to fit your narrative? That's all we're seeing here. That's all we're seeing. We had a mention that there was a potential for them to be investigating other parties as well, which Andrea Burkhart would say, look, the FBI don't get involved in shit this deep unless there's specifics around this case. And this case, from what we've seen in the public, doesn't fit the criteria for this much of an involvement with the FBI. So what is going on in the background? Is there going to be a huge curveball and we find out that they are indeed still investigating other people? They're happy to let this run and stall and delay because they know that they're doing something else. And they just want to hold Bryan in this situation where he is at the moment for now until they have ascertained exactly what was going on. They're now still asking for stuff around the victims and seemingly investigating their phones and their information. You know, they said there's no connection, no nothing. Are they still looking for a connection between the victims and Bryan Kohberger? Well, that would have been done very, very early, unless they feel that perhaps Bryan Kohberger used a different phone and they're looking for that. Who knows? But why are the FBI still involved at this level where they are blocking paperwork coming, and it's given the prosecution the ability to hide behind their procedures. But something ain't sitting right here, and you can't carry on sticking your head in the sand and ignoring it. You can't do it. But what did we learn yesterday? What did we truly learn? We learned that the defence, a year and a half down the line, still don't have the very foundation of the prosecution's case against their client. They simply don't have it, and the stuff that they have is incomplete. It's got elements to it that seemingly shouldn't exist, without stuff that they claim that they don't have, or that they do have but they can't get it yet, and you still got to wait for it. But again, we're a year and a half down the line. But that's where we are. We've got a guy who sat in jail, accused of a crime that he may or may not committed, and that's not the point at this stage. The point is whether the process is operating in the manner of which it should. Are things being done properly, and are things being done fairly? And Bryan Kohberger has been accused of a crime, but it would appear that all of the evidence that was used in order to convict or arrest and charge and put him into the position he's in now, there's a massive grey cloud hanging over it. A huge grey cloud over it. And it just ain't right. It just isn't right. If you want to put someone in this position that could potentially see them being executed, show everything. Show all your work. Show what you've done. Show how you got there. Be proud of your work. I was involved in the Bryan Kohberger case. This was a horrendous crime. He deserves what he got, and we was here, and this is my work. Well done. There's a fucking gold star. Hero. But that ain't about that. It's about everybody fucking hiding what happened, hiding what was done, manipulating stuff, and yeah, it just sits very uncomfortable with me. But let me know your biggest takeaway from yesterday. And again, keep your eyes out for video 2 today. A little bit more of a ranty one. And I'll catch you all then.